A Sydney priest who is a close associate of New South Wales Attorney-General has been arrested and charged with sexually abusing 3 girls and a boy over 15 years in the 1970s and 80s. The police investigation of Father Finian Egan followed allegations raised in a series of stories on this program. They examined the church's response to the initial complaints and the lengthy hold-up in the criminal investigation, during which New South Wales Attorney-General Greg+Smith apparently dismissed one of the alleged victims as money-hungry. Tim Palmer reports.
After decades, this was a defining moment for 2 of the women who've alleged Father Finian Egan turned their lives upside down by sexually assaulting them as children.
It's a relief. For me, it's like... it's finally, something's happening. Something legal is starting.
It was the Catholic Church that first investigated a series of allegations against Finian Egan made by Nikki Wells and Kelly Roach, who claimed he'd attacked them when they were at school or at a fellowship at a northwest Sydney church.
Even when I left that primary school and went to another high school, we still attended the church.
Both alleged victims were scathing in their criticism of the church's handling of their complaints.
But nothing they did has helped me heal. If anything, it made me feel like they were protecting him.
In particular, they were angered to find that after being told Father Egan had been suspended from the priesthood, he was instead honoured in 2009 with a special service at which he officiated, marking his 50 years in the priesthood, and that he was then permitted by his bishop to conduct Mass 8 times, on several of those occasions in Ireland.
It makes you feel like a victim again, like the church, even though they upheld my allegations and they tell me that they believe me, they don't show it by taking away his rights as a priest.
Prompted by the 730 stories in 2010, more women came forward alleging serious abuse at the hands of Finian Egan in his role as priest and basketball coach at the Entrance.
And I've decided after 40, I can't believe I'm saying this, after 40 odd years, that I'm actually talking about it. And it's quite soul destroying. I'm hoping that I reach a better place by the end of it.
The new allegations saw the police widen their Sydney-based investigation to the New South Wales Central Coast, but then the process began to drag, and after nearly 2 years without arrest or charge, the alleged victims were wondering what had happened to an investigation which by then had been sitting on the state DPP's desk for months.
The torture of the investigation, the torture of the hold-ups with the DPP has been horrendous.
Last month, 730 detailed the association between Father Finian Egan and one of his former parishioners, now the Attorney-General of New South Wales, Greg+Smith, who was close enough to the priest to mention him warmly in his maiden speech to Parliament.
That's a Gerard's Father Finian Egan, charmed us with his Irish wit and his pastorly devotion to his flock.
Finian Egan's former solicitor, Damien Tudhope, is now the Attorney-General's Chief of Staff. And the alleged victims' concerns intensified after being told of a conversation revealed on this program that took place between Attorney-General Greg+Smith and another priest. That priest countered how Greg+Smith described one of the alleged victims as just wanting $1 million from the Catholic Church.
There is, for me, no political excuse for the Attorney-General of the day making derogatory comments about a victim.
At the time, the Attorney-General stated he had no recollection of saying those words, but today the opposition was pressuring him on the issue again.
My question is to the Attorney-General. Did you or did you not tell a priest in a meeting last year that an alleged victim of child sexual assault was just trying to get $1 million out of the church?
I've previously made a statement to this House on Father Egan. I understand he was charged today. The question that the member for Liverpool has asked relates to a possible complainant in those matters. It would therefore be inappropriate for me to make any further comment.
But there was action after the 7:30 revelations last month. On the same night that they were broadcast, the wheels of justice suddenly whirred back into gear, and the alleged victims were informed that the New South Wales DPP had at last referred the charges back to investigating police. Finian Egan's imminent arrest was settled. When he comes to court next month, it will be to face 17 charges, ranging from the indecent assault of 11-year-old and 16-year-old girls and a 14-year-old boy to the rape of a 17-year-old girl.
Tim Palmer reporting, and that's the program for tonight. Good night.